All right, more progress tonight on the Lefthander. Slowly but surely getting this thing. It's all running, clutch is working, shifter goes through all the gears, brakes work. I do need to get some laps on it and just kind of clean the rust off the rotors. I mentioned that before. But pulled the valve covers back off, checked out the rockers and the push rods, all the geometry there. Everything looks pretty decent. It's not perfect, but it's kind of the best we could get with what we had and what was available, but I'm happy with it. I let the engine warm up yesterday for about a good probably 10-15 minutes. Left the fan off so I could finally get some heat in it. So it got up to about 175, 180, turned the fans on and let it cool back down. So that was good. It was smoking a little bit, but yesterday's actually the first time I actually let it warm up. So it seemed to clear up. Didn't seem like there was any real issues. I did stick a borescope down the intake and looked at the intake and made sure the gaskets were sealed and there wasn't any studs, rocker arm studs pulling oil through the ports. Didn't see any of that. Yeah, I got the throttle linkage on. I want to double check that. I've got 2 return springs on there. It is working perfect right now, but I just want to keep an eye on that and double check that. I want to make sure that's working exactly like it should. Did have an alternator that went out on me, so I changed the alternator. But yeah, all the electrical's done. Everything's working. It's running pretty good. Pretty happy with that. What else did we do? I did change the engine placement just slightly. I moved the engine up about 1/4 of an inch, and then I moved the transmission up almost 1 inch because the bell housing was actually hanging a little bit too low to the ground. Now, it looked worse than what it was because we realized once we got the engine and everything in, the car had sagged. So our frame height was only like 2.5 inches. So once we got that back up to the minimum of 4, the bell housing wasn't as bad as what we thought, but it was still too low. So kind of redid that just a little bit. Didn't have to change our mounts, nothing like that. We have enough play to move the engine left and right, and we just used shims to move the engine up a little bit. So that all worked out really well. That's all done. Shifter's all done. Seats all done. Seat belts are all done. Got that shift knob I'm still waiting on. I might cut that shifter down more because it did raise up even further now because of moving the transmission up. But it's got a few little things to finish as far as the inside of the car goes. Got the new windshield in the car. I'm super happy with that. It turned out great. So this is the 5-star bodies windshield, pre-cut, pre-drilled, and already had the blackout on it. So that came out really nice. All of our holes lined up. I had some pretty decent screws already that matched the taper. So I was able to use those screws. What else do we got going on? So we did actually put the car on the scales, but the car doesn't really have any fuel in it. We've still got to do the air box. So I figure there's probably about 50 pounds of odds and ends between my helmet, the driver's suit, the air box, fuel, and a bunch of other little things. But with that being said, the car weighed 2555 with me in it. So add about another 50 pounds or so. So about 2,600 pounds. Well, we need to be around 2,800 pounds. So we've got about 200 pounds of lead or weight to add to the car to get it there. So I did start working on that tonight, and I'll actually show you guys a little bit of that and what I'm talking about. So I've got about 95 to 100 pounds in the car right now. It's going to raise the lift up here, but it's going pretty well. Once I finish putting the rest of the weight in the car, then I'm going to go through the tires and the wheels we have and kind of come up with a game plan of what I have that I can kind of clean up and use just for testing. Because that's really, again, our main point is to get this thing out and get it tested. Probably going to have to change the front springs. I'm sure we're going to be messing with front shocks a little bit. But it's getting really, really close. So I'll show you guys a few things. The first thing you'll notice here is all these bolts coming out of this, I think it's 3x3 tube. And what I did is I had these steel plates show you. I think I have another one over here. So I have these steel plates right here. I think they're about 4 foot long, maybe 5, somewhere right in there. And they're 1/2 inch thick steel. So I was able to get 6 of those into that tube. Yeah, you can kind of see it pretty good right there. Maybe. That's probably about the best we're gonna get. So I could get 6 of those into that tube, and then I use those jam bolts to hold it in. And then I have another one on top. So I went ahead and welded that to the others, both on the sides and on the back. So we've got about 60 pounds, somewhere between 50 or 60 pounds right there. Then I've got all this lead on the inside here. So I'm just working on bolting this lead down. So this is all placed. I've got this piece right here that's about 50 pounds right there. I've got to mount that piece. I've got some more down here. And I've got it kind of laying all over the shop right now. I've probably got about another 200 pounds around here. There's another piece right there. So basically my next move is I'm going to put the car back on the scales and start placing this lead around the car and figuring out the best placement. What I want to do, and what at least I've been told I should do, is tune my lead and my weight from the center point of the car. So we'll say roughly something like this cross point right here is about the middle of the car. So if I need to have more left side, I put weight somewhere in here, more right side somewhere in here, more rear somewhere back here, more front, just go somewhere more over here. Well, we have a 60% left side rule. So that's why I initially put that about 90 pounds on the left side. So roughly we're going to be pretty close to our 60% right there. Now what we'll have to do is balance. If we add 10 on this side, add 10 on that side, or what you do that's even better if you tune from the center is we just got to move that weight a little bit to the right side, and it doesn't throw off your left side too much while adding to the total car. But we know we need to put some more rear percentage in it as well. So it's just going to be a bit of playing around, moving weight around. You want the weight as low as you can and as balanced as you can. That's the best way to put it. So I've got a bunch of ideas, but I got to kind of put that to work. The other thing I got done is exhaust is all on. So it is 3-inch. We got some disconnects there, slip fittings, into a 4-inch muffler, and then just a 4-inch 90 out the side of the car. And then it goes into a 6-inch, and that's just a slip fitting. That way if you bang the wall or if someone gets in the side of you, this just slides over your exhaust so it doesn't bend or break your exhaust. But yeah, it's coming along pretty well. It's really, as far as things that are left, I've got to build this front air box. What that does is just direct air from the front of the car into the radiator. Scale the car, which includes adding all that lead, and then come up with tires, set our stagger. Honestly, from there, it's just a bunch of small things. It's just double and triple checking everything. Kind of taking it out and testing from there. So the initial goal was to be out this weekend. Today is Friday. That's not going to happen. I mean, to be honest with you, we could stay up real late, rush it, and be out there tomorrow, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. You're kind of asking for trouble when you do that, and that's when you make mistakes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and wait until next week, and the ideal plan is going to be take the car out next Thursday. So in a perfect world, we'll take it out next Thursday and then do some testing, and then from that standpoint, we'll be able to make some adjustments and set us up for Saturday. Now, we all know plans change, so things might change. We'll see. But that's the game plan for now. We'll see how testing goes. If everything goes well, we'll run it next Saturday. We've got to get some seat time. We just kind of got to get this thing dialed in. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think that'll be it for tonight. Keep it saucy.